If you're past 65, there's something crucial most people never mention, not because they're keeping secrets, but because they simply aren't aware. Each time you pour a cup of coffee, skip your morning walk, add extra salt to your meal, or forget to drink water, these small daily actions may quietly raise your stroke risk. The truth is, stroke rarely gives a warning. It can strike while you sleep, watch TV, or stand in the kitchen preparing breakfast. But here's the encouraging part. Experts now confirm that nearly 80% of strokes can be prevented. And prevention doesn't depend on expensive programs or strict diets. It starts with simple choices you can make in your own home, in your kitchen, during your routine, even while tending your plants. So, if you're over 65 or care for someone who is, this message is for you. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore 9 simple, science-backed habits you can start today to support circulation, keep your mind sharp, and maintain independence. We'll begin with breakfast, move through hydration, movement, and sleep, and include a few often overlooked habits that make a real difference. Let's start with the first step, your morning meal. What you eat at breakfast can either strengthen your arteries or slowly harm them. After 65, the body becomes more sensitive to inflammation, high blood pressure, and changes in blood sugar, all major stroke triggers. The CDC reports that nearly 3 out of 4 strokes occur in people over 65, many of which are linked to everyday lifestyle patterns, especially breakfast choices. The main culprit is low-grade inflammation. You can't feel it, but it gradually weakens your arteries, raises blood pressure, and increases the risk of clotting. Fortunately, the right foods can calm inflammation, stabilize glucose, and support steady blood flow to the brain. Focus on 3 key nutrients: healthy fats, antioxidants, and fiber. Start with omega-3 fatty acids found in chia seeds, ground flaxseed, and walnuts. These plant-based fats are powerful inflammation fighters. Research in the Journal of Stroke found that a higher intake of ALA plant omega-3 was linked to a 27% reduction in stroke risk. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds delivers about 5 grams of fiber and a healthy dose of omega-3s. Sprinkle them over oatmeal and let them soften before eating. Your arteries will thank you. Next, include berries such as blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries. These colorful fruits are rich in anthocyanins, antioxidants that protect your artery walls from damage. Harvard studies show that eating berries 3 times a week can lower the risk of heart attack and stroke by up to 32%. Let's move on to whole grains, especially plain or steel-cut oats. Unlike white bread or sugary cereals, oats provide soluble fiber, mainly beta-glucan, which helps clear out LDL, the bad cholesterol, from your bloodstream. The American Heart Association suggests consuming at least 25 grams of fiber daily, and a half cup of oats gives you a solid start with about 4 grams in 1 serving. To put it all together, try this easy breakfast idea: half a cup of cooked oats, half a sliced banana, half a cup of mixed berries, a tablespoon of chia seeds, a handful of walnuts, and a dash of cinnamon for taste. For added protein and gut support, include a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt. It only takes a few minutes to prepare, but it nourishes your heart vessels and brain for hours afterward. However, while these foods calm inflammation, many common breakfast options can worsen it. Instant flavored oatmeal packets, for instance, can have up to 16 grams of added sugar, roughly 4 teaspoons, causing rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar that fuel fatigue and inflammation. Processed meats such as bacon and sausage contain high levels of sodium and nitrates that stiffen arteries and raise blood pressure. Just 2 slices of bacon can add nearly 500 mg of sodium, close to 20% of your daily limit. And if fruit juice is your go-to morning drink, even 100% juice varieties lack the fiber that slows sugar absorption. A single cup of orange juice can pack over 20 grams of sugar, affecting blood sugar levels almost as much as soda. The takeaway: breakfast is more than a meal. It's a daily opportunity to protect your brain and circulation. Choosing whole, anti-inflammatory foods while avoiding added sugars and sodium gives you a powerful edge against stroke risk. Now, let's shift focus from food to fluids, because hydration plays just as big a role in prevention. Many don't realize that even mild dehydration can raise stroke risk, especially after 65. When your body lacks water, your blood thickens, making it harder to circulate and more prone to clotting. Research in the Stroke Journal found that more than 60% of patients admitted with ischemic stroke were dehydrated. Older adults are particularly vulnerable since the sense of thirst diminishes with age. Even if you don't feel thirsty, your body still needs steady hydration to regulate blood pressure, remove waste, and maintain proper blood flow to the brain. The best approach is simple. Keep water nearby throughout the day, fill a glass or bottle each morning, and take small sips regularly. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. Aim for 6 to 8 cups daily, or more if you're active or live in a warm area. One thing that works against hydration is refined sugar. It's not just in sweets, it hides in yogurts, breakfast bars, bottled drinks, and even salad dressings. Once in your system, it sparks inflammation, raises blood pressure, and damages artery walls. The American Heart Association advises limiting added sugar to 24 grams per day for women and 36 grams for men, yet most people far exceed this without realizing it. Just one sweetened yogurt can contain 20 grams of sugar, a soda nearly 40, and a granola bar about 15, half your daily limit. Plus, sugar pulls water from your tissues to help process glucose, deepening dehydration and further raising stroke risk. Thicker blood, higher pressure, and greater inflammation. That's the chain reaction dehydration and excess sugar can trigger. So, what's the better choice? Go for whole fruits instead of juices or sweet snacks. A banana apple or a handful of berries provides natural sweetness along with fiber that helps slow sugar absorption. To make water more enjoyable, infuse it with lemon slices, cucumber, or mint. Skip sugary beverages and reach for herbal teas like chamomile or rooibos, especially later in the day when sugar cravings often appear. Most importantly, make drinking water part of your daily rhythm. Set simple goals. Have a glass of water right after waking up, one before each meal and another in the afternoon. Sometimes protecting your brain doesn't require medication, just a little more hydration. Now let's turn to movement. One of the easiest and most effective habits for maintaining circulation and reducing stroke risk, walking right after you eat. You don't need an intense workout, just a slow, steady 10-minute walk around your home, garden, or hallway. Here's why this matters. After eating, especially carbohydrate-heavy meals, blood sugar naturally rises. In older adults, that rise tends to be higher and lasts longer if there's no movement afterward. When blood sugar stays elevated, it fuels inflammation, stresses blood vessels, and adds strain to the heart. But research published in Neuroscience found that walking for 10 minutes post-meal can cut that blood sugar spike by up to 22%. That's because your muscles start using glucose for energy right away instead of letting it remain in your bloodstream. The benefits go even further. Walking helps improve blood flow, lowers blood pressure, eases fatigue, clears the mind, and supports a healthy weight, all of which reduce stroke risk. This habit is especially valuable after dinner when people tend to sit or lie down, allowing blood sugar to stay high longer and increasing nighttime vascular stress. The fix is simple: aim for 10 minutes of gentle movement after every meal. You don't need to go outside or break a sweat. Walk around the kitchen, move through the hallway, or take a stroll in your garden. Even light activity counts. You can make it enjoyable by chatting with a loved one or calling a friend while you walk. And if the weather isn't cooperating, just walk indoors. What counts most is keeping your body in motion, not the view. This is one of those rare habits that costs nothing, requires no tools, and delivers instant rewards. You'll notice it. Your legs feel lighter, your head clearer, your balance steadier. So next time you finish a meal, resist the urge to sit. Move a little. Let your food fuel your body, not burden it. Now, let's head back to the kitchen. Not to eat, but to rethink a habit that hides in plain sight. It's about salt. That small sprinkle that can quietly push your blood pressure and stroke risk higher without you realizing it. Here's the truth. High blood pressure is the most significant preventable factor behind strokes, and excessive sodium is one of the biggest triggers, especially after age 65, when the kidneys and blood vessels become more sensitive to salt. The American Heart Association suggests older adults limit sodium to about 1/500 mg per day, roughly 2/3 of a teaspoon. But most people consume more than twice that amount, over 300-400 mg daily. And here's the tricky part: about 70% of that sodium doesn't come from what you add with a shaker. It hides in packaged and restaurant foods, canned soups, salad dressings, deli meats, breads, sauces, frozen meals, even healthy snacks. This hidden salt slowly hardens arteries and damages blood vessel walls over time. According to research in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, cutting just 1,000 mg of sodium a day can lower systolic blood pressure by around 5 to 6 mg. That might sound small, but a 10-point drop can reduce stroke risk by nearly 27%. That's powerful. So how can you reduce salt without losing flavor? Nature offers plenty of alternatives. Garlic contains allicin, known to support healthy blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Roast it or add it minced to vegetables, soups, or sauces. Turmeric brings warmth and color, with curcumin that soothes inflammation and supports blood flow. Great for rice, lentils, or eggs. Herbs like rosemary, thyme, oregano, and basil offer deep aroma and heart protective compounds. Use them fresh or dried. Lemon juice or apple cider vinegar adds brightness, reducing the need for extra salt while enhancing flavor. And don't forget olive oil, rich in polyphenols and healthy fats that calm inflammation and protect arteries. Here's a simple swap example. Instead of seasoning roasted potatoes with extra salt, try tossing them with olive oil, garlic, rosemary, and a squeeze of lemon. You'll get the flavor you crave, and a healthier heart in return. Many people prepare potatoes with vegetable oil and a heavy dose of seasoned salt before baking, but that single dish can pack over 800 mg of sodium, nearly half of what you should have in an entire day. Now, imagine a better version. Roast them in extra virgin olive oil, mix in minced garlic, sprinkle rosemary and a pinch of turmeric, then finish with a touch of lemon juice. The flavor becomes richer, more aromatic, and the sodium stays under 100 mg. Your arteries will thank you for it. If cutting down salt feels like too much at once, begin gradually. Cook one meal a day from scratch using herbs in place of salt. Cut your usual salt amount in half and lean on spices for flavor. Taste your food before automatically seasoning it. Your palate will adapt in just a few weeks. What tastes bland now will feel perfectly balanced later. This isn't about restriction. It's about helping your body rediscover natural flavor while protecting your heart. Because prevention doesn't have to taste plain. It can actually taste better. Now, let's move to something we do every day without thinking: sleep. It might surprise you to learn that your stroke risk doesn't rest when you do. In fact, roughly 1 in 4 strokes happen while people are asleep or within hours of waking up. That's why what happens during the night, your bedtime habits, sleep quality, and even your coffee schedule can play a powerful role in protecting your brain. Poor or inconsistent sleep disrupts the body's natural rhythm, increases stress hormones, raises nighttime blood pressure, and affects blood sugar balance. Together, these create ideal conditions for vascular strain. A large neurology study that followed over 30,000 people found that irregular sleep patterns raised stroke risk by 22%, even when total sleep hours were similar. Here's what helps. Go to bed and wake up at consistent times, including weekends. Your body's internal clock regulates blood pressure and inflammation, so routine sleep keeps those systems stable. But one hidden culprit can undo your progress: caffeine. That afternoon cup of coffee or green tea might seem harmless, but caffeine can linger in your body for 6 to 8 hours. If you drink it around 3 p.m., it could still be keeping your brain alert at bedtime, reducing deep sleep and keeping blood pressure elevated overnight. As we age, caffeine also leaves the system more slowly, making the effect even stronger. Try cutting off caffeine after 2 p.m. and swap it for calming options like chamomile, rooibos, lemon balm, or even warm water with lemon. These drinks relax your system and support steady sleep. Good rest isn't only about getting enough hours, it's about rhythm, depth, and calm. Dim your lights an hour before bed, stay off screens, and let your mind unwind naturally. Because deep, consistent sleep is one of the most powerful ways to support your heart, brain, and circulation. Next, we'll look at something you can check at home: your heart rhythm. It's invisible but crucial. One of the most under-recognized stroke risks after 65 isn't blood pressure or diet, but an irregular heartbeat known as atrial fibrillation, or AFib. AFib happens when the upper and lower chambers of your heart beat out of sync. Instead of a steady rhythm, you may feel fluttering or skipped beats. This irregular rhythm allows blood to pool and form clots inside the heart. And if a clot travels to the brain, it can cause a stroke. What's more, many people with AFib never feel any symptoms at all. It can be silent, lurking in the background until something serious happens. But there's good news. AFib is detectable and treatable, especially if caught early. Here's a simple at-home method to check your pulse. Sit quietly and relax for a minute. Place your index and middle finger on your wrist, just below the base of your thumb. Press lightly until you feel your pulse. Count the beats for 15 seconds, then multiply by 4 to get your heart rate. While you're counting, pay attention. Is the rhythm steady or irregular? A normal resting heart rate is between 60 to 100 beats per minute. But even more important than the number is the rhythm. A steady rhythm, thump, 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 is what we want. An irregular pattern, thump, pause, thump, thump, skip, may be a red flag. Common warning signs of AFib include a fluttering or pounding in your chest, shortness of breath, especially with light activity, fatigue without explanation, feeling lightheaded or dizzy, anxiety, or a sense of something being off. If you notice any of these or detect an irregular rhythm, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Call your doctor and ask for a simple test called an ECG, electrocardiogram. It takes just a few minutes and can confirm whether your heartbeat is steady or irregular. Why is this so important? Because nearly 1 in 10 people over age 80 have AFib and many don't know it, and strokes caused by AIB tend to be more severe with higher risk of long-term disability. But if you catch it early, treatments like blood thinners, rhythm medications, or even a pacemaker can dramatically reduce your risk. So do yourself a favor. Get to know your heartbeat. Check it once a day for a week. Keep a note of how it feels and listen to your body, because sometimes the most powerful stroke prevention tool is your own 2 fingers and a minute of quiet attention. Coming up next, we'll return to your kitchen where a little planning ahead can make all the difference in your daily choices. Now, let's talk about one of the most practical and often overlooked tools in stroke prevention: meal preparation. You've probably heard the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When it comes to eating healthy after 65, that couldn't be more true. Because here's the reality. When you're tired or hungry or short on time, you don't reach for the healthiest choice. You reach for what's easiest, and that's usually a snack full of salt, sugar, or processed ingredients. The very habits we try to maintain can easily fall apart when life gets busy. But what if, instead of scrambling at the last moment, you already had nutritious, heart-friendly meals waiting in your fridge? That's the idea behind Prep to Prevent. It's not about restriction, it's about readiness. This simple habit works because it removes decision fatigue. No overthinking, just grab and eat. It builds routine. Your body thrives on consistency. It also curbs temptation. When wholesome food is easy to reach, processed options lose their pull. And above all, it keeps your blood pressure steady, supports healthy cholesterol, and protects your arteries. So what's worth prepping? Here are 2 easy, senior-friendly choices that help your brain and heart. First, fruit and nut cups. Combine chopped apples, pears, or grapes with a handful of berries, some almonds or walnuts, and a dash of cinnamon. Store in small containers. They're perfect for breakfast or a snack. You'll get fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats that nourish circulation and ease inflammation. Second, overnight chia oats. In a jar, mix rolled oats, chia seeds, unsweetened almond or oat milk, and a few slices of banana or frozen berries. Let it chill overnight. It's ready by morning. You'll have a meal rich in omega-3s and fiber that keeps you energized for hours. You can prep several servings at once in under 10 minutes. Prefer savory? Make a mix of quinoa, roasted vegetables, olive oil, and lemon, or keep boiled eggs with tomatoes and avocado handy. Use clear containers and store them where you can see them. Visibility encourages good choices. Another helpful trick: keep a running grocery list of your go-to nutritious foods on the fridge. When it's time to shop, you'll already know what supports your goals. Because preventing a stroke isn't about willpower, it's about preparation. Smart planning turns healthy living into the easier option. Now let's shift focus to something equally vital but often forgotten: connection. Stroke prevention doesn't just happen through diet, movement, or medication. It's deeply tied to how connected you feel. Your friendships, laughter, and sense of belonging all play powerful roles. Isolation doesn't just feel lonely, it affects your body. Research shows that being socially disconnected raises stroke risk by about 1/3 and can make recovery harder if a stroke occurs. Why? Loneliness elevates stress hormones like cortisol, which drive up blood pressure. It makes it tougher to stay active, eat well, or maintain motivation. And it can worsen anxiety or depression, both harmful to heart and brain health. So don't go it alone. Create a circle of support. Find 1 or 2 people who share your goals. Join a local walking or Tai Chi group. These build movement and community. Volunteer somewhere meaningful, like a library, food pantry, or garden. Service keeps both heart and spirit strong, and if getting out is hard, online communities can help. There are many groups for older adults focused on wellness, support, and connection. Even a weekly phone call with a friend can lift mood and lower stress. Take Eleanor, for example, a 72-year-old woman who had a mini stroke. Her doctor advised more walking and better blood pressure control, but she lived alone and didn't feel safe going out. Then she joined a nearby senior walking group. At first, she kept to herself, but over time, she made a friend named Mary who had faced similar struggles. They began checking in on each other, sharing healthy meals, keeping appointments, and walking together. One small act of connection became the foundation for lasting health and companionship. 2 years later, Eleanor's blood pressure is stable, she's 12 lebs lighter. And most importantly, she's happy. Because health isn't just about numbers, it's about people. So ask yourself, who's in your corner, and how can you connect more, even just once a week? Up next, we'll talk about the most powerful habit of all. One that brings everything we've covered together, and it only takes 5 minutes a week, but could save your life. Let's end with a tip that brings everything full circle. Because no matter how well you eat, walk, sleep, or stay connected, there's one essential habit that ties it all together: paying attention to your numbers and checking in with your doctor regularly. Think of it like this. You wouldn't drive a car for years without ever checking the oil, right? Your body is no different. And after age 65, regular checkups become your early warning system. helping you catch small issues before they become big emergencies. Here are the key numbers every older adult should track. Blood pressure. Aim for under 130 over 80 millimeters of mercury heart rate. Know your resting pulse and monitor for changes cholesterol, especially LDL, bad cholesterol, blood sugar. Even if you're not diabetic, rising glucose levels can increase stroke risk. Weight and waist size. A large waistline is linked to higher risk of metabolic syndrome. And if you've had any heart rhythm issues, track symptoms like palpitations, dizziness, or fatigue. But you don't have to wait for the doctor's office to keep track. Start a simple health notebook or journal. Each week, write down your blood pressure if you have a monitor at home, pulse, energy levels, sleep quality, any unusual symptoms like headaches, vision changes, or balance problems. Over time, this becomes a powerful tool, not just for you, but for your healthcare team. Because when your doctor can see patterns over time, they can make better, more personalized decisions for your care. And here's something many people forget: your eyes, mouth, and gut are part of your cardiovascular system too. Vision changes could be an early sign of many strokes or rising blood pressure. Gum disease has been linked to inflammation in the arteries. Digestive issues can affect nutrient absorption, especially B vitamins, important for brain health. So don't skip the dentist. Don't delay your eye exam. And if something feels off in your digestion, mention it to your doctor. This is how you take control, not by guessing, but by tracking, observing, and staying proactive. Because stroke prevention isn't just about reacting to symptoms. It's about seeing the early signals and stepping in before they become something serious. And the best part, this habit only takes 5 minutes a week, but it gives you peace of mind every day. So, let's take a deep breath and look back at the path we've walked together today. You've just learned 9 simple, science-backed habits that can help protect your brain, your heart, and your independence. All without expensive gadgets, extreme diets, or complicated routines. From boosting anti-inflammatory foods at breakfast to hydrating your body and cutting back on hidden sugars. From walking gently after meals to choosing olive oil and herbs over salt. Sleeping better, checking your pulse, prepping your meals, staying socially connected, and keeping track of your health with intention and care. These are not just tips, they are tools. Tools that empower you, no matter your age, your income, or your health history, to take control of your future. Because stroke prevention after 65 isn't about fear. It's about knowledge, it's about taking small, consistent steps, and most importantly, it's about believing that change is possible. So here's my request to you. If even one of these habits spoke to you, tap the like button. That simple action helps this message reach more older adults who could benefit from it. If you found yourself thinking, that sounds like me, or I'm ready to start, make sure to subscribe. Every week, we share new videos designed specifically for seniors who want to stay active, healthy, and independent. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. Your friend, sibling, or neighbor might not realize how simple it can be to lower their stroke risk until you show them. In the comments, tell us which of these 9 habits you're already practicing and which one you plan to begin this week. And if you want to discover more foods that support your heart and brain, watch our next video, Foods that Lower Stroke Risk After 65. You'll find it right here on your screen. Until next time, keep moving forward, stay mindful, and continue choosing what strengthens your future self. You're doing better than you think. And we're right here beside you, every step of the way.